Almost 6 months in. So is next gen worth the price of admission?
Superfly Rhino.
You damn right. What up, game players? It's your boy Superfly Rhino, and I'm back again to talk to you about next generation of consoles and how they're holding up so far. But first, I would like to bring up the last video I did. I wanted to try something new, and with some of the feedback I received from a few people, I guess you all just weren't feeling it. So I'm going back to strictly game content. With that being said, let's get to the point of this video. So like I mentioned before, it's been almost 6 months since the next gen consoles launched, and I have had the privilege to try out all three systems. I have the Xbox Series S, I have the Xbox Series X, and I have the PS5, which you can see behind me. It's the all-digital version of the PS5 because the vast majority of my PS4 games are digital, and I just like the look of it better with both sides being symmetrical. All that, and it saved me $100. So anyway, let's start off with the Xbox Series consoles, and with the most important thing being games, let's make that the deciding factor. So this is a mixed bag for the Xbox as of right now. They really only have one game that is next-gen exclusive, and that is the Medium, which wasn't a bad game I felt, it's just nothing I would write home about. But honestly, exclusives do not seem to matter to Microsoft. They are all about the Game Pass and letting the most games be played by gamers. This is why they still make their games for the Xbox One and they release all of their games on the PC. Which at first, I gotta be honest, I wasn't a fan of that news, that the series of consoles wouldn't have any next-gen exclusives for at least the possibly first 2 years. But after seeing that the series consoles actually run these games better, and it does give them a graphical facelift, I've become okay with it. Especially since I have friends that haven't been able to get their hands on a series console yet, but I can still play all the new release games with them, instead of having to wait for them to be able to find their own Xbox Series. That's pretty awesome. So since games are the biggest factor, is it worth it to upgrade your Xbox right now? Well, that depends. If you don't own an Xbox at all, I can highly recommend getting a Series console just for Game Pass alone. And for the low cost of the Series S, it gets you right into gaming the most affordable way in. Now, if you already own an Xbox One, I would say it depends on which one. See what I did there? You were playing on. If it's the original one or the One S, then yes, I feel you should upgrade. The benefits of the Series S and X are very noticeable, especially when it comes to loading times and the graphics being in 4K, and some games running at 120 frames per second, if your TV allows it. But if you own the One X, you might be inclined to hold off for just a bit longer. Sure, the Series consoles have faster loading time and can push 120 frames per second, but right now, the One X does 4K just like the Series X, and without any actual exclusives that can only be played on the Series consoles, then you should be able to hold off for a while longer. Now, as far as the PS5 goes, this is another, excuse me, I believe that's another tough call, because it does have exclusives like Demon's Souls, Returnal, and Destruction All-Stars. They may hit for some, they may hit not. I mean, that's just the way it is. Plus, we know Ratchet & Clank is right around the corner, and that game looks absolutely gorgeous. But these games do come at a premium cost, and depending on what your gaming budget is, you may have to be more selective in what you buy when you have a PS5. Also know that since multiplayer exclusives like Destruction All-Stars are only on the PS5, you can only play those with your friends if they have a PS5 as well. So the question is it worth upgrading to the PS5? Well, that also depends on how important the PS5's exclusives are to you. I knew as soon as I saw Ratchet & Clank and they showed Horizon and all their graphical glory and then they announced the new God of War, I was sold. I had to get one. But I will honestly say that these 6 months in, the PS5 gets the least amount of my playtime. I know the future is looking bright for the PlayStation 5 because Sony exclusives almost always hit home runs. But it's not there just yet. And since most games are still being made for the last gen PS4, including Spider-Man Miles Morales and Horizon, Unless you are a diehard Ratchet and Clank fan or a God of War fan, which I totally understand if you are, because I know I am, then it honestly may not be worth it to you to upgrade to the PS5 just yet, especially if you own a PS4 Pro. Now, to sum it all up, I would say if I had to choose one system to go with right now, it would be the Xbox Series X. Both consoles are beasts, but it's Game Pass that gives the Xbox the edge in my honest opinion. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like gaming content and enjoy this video, then please hit that like button. And if you could subscribe to this channel, it's free and would really help me out a lot. I really appreciate your time and feedback, and remember, play on, players.